time. Present day, so that's today. We can now record any sound we like and save it. This was not possible before Edison. Edison's lab. Edison's tinfoil phonograph was the first device to record sound and play it back. It was a major scientific breakthrough and earned him his nickname, the Wizard of Menlo Park. That's pretty impressive for a man who was partially deaf. To record, cover the cylinder with tin, rotate it, and speak into the horn. The voice vibrates a needle on the end of the horn. The vibrating needle makes small sound grooves on the rotating tin. To listen, stop and place the needle back to the start. Rotate the cylinder. The needle rides over the sound grooves and plays your recordings. Pretty amazing. Present day. If Thomas Edison were alive today, he would be fascinated by the many ways we listen to recorded sounds. It all started with his phonograph. Edison's lab. Edison constantly improved on his phonograph so it could have multiple purposes. Models were designed for homes and public arcades. Phonographs were also introduced to offices as the first dictation machines. It became possible for office workers to record spoken information, save it, then play it back when they were ready to copy it down. A small phonograph was built for the first talking doll. Present day, so that's today. Today, this telephone is the easiest and quickest way to contact someone. The telephone was first invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Yet, Edison improved it. So Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, but Edison improved Alexander Graham Bell's invention. Edison's lab. All telephones have a transmitter, where we speak, and a receiver, where we listen. Edison created a transmitter that was powerful enough to send our voices much farther and make them sound much louder. So here's the receiver, and here is the transmitter. Edison introduced the word hello as the official telephone greeting. Alexander Graham Bell wanted us to use ahoy. Present day, the photocopier and the tattoo needle seem to have nothing in common. But Edison's lab, yet they were both based on Edison's electric pen. It was the first motorized copier. Like a tattoo machine, the electric pen contained a small needle that moved in and out. While writing a message, the needle poked holes in the paper to create a stencil. Ink was spread over the stencil to make copies. Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, was a big fan of the electric pen. So here's a stencil ink press. Here's the battery. Present day. Need a battery? Take your pick. Today, they are made in many shapes and sizes. Edison's lab. One of Edison's biggest successes was his nickel iron storage battery. It was originally created to power an electric car, but since the electric car didn't catch on, he found many other important uses for it. For example, Edison's battery was used to power buoys, local delivery trucks, rural homes, railway cars and signals, miners' lamps, and boats and submarines. That's a lot of batteries. Present day. Before vending machines became a popular stop for tasty treats, when members of our government cast a vote, they used very basic voting machines. The X-ray machine is a common way to photograph the inside of our bodies. Edison's lab. Edison had the idea of a large-scale vending machine for the urban poor. It featured coin-operated openings across a wall, each one filled with necessities like coal and farm produce. Thomas Edison invented a vote recorder for the government. It was his very first patent. Having a patent means you legally own an invention. Over the course of his career, he was awarded 1,093 patents for his ideas. Edison's fluoroscope was the first example of X-ray technology. It generated bright and fast images. The basic design is still used today. So if you can see the difference of the X-ray machine, how it's changed. The voting system and the vending machine. Present day. When we hear the word Hollywood, we think of bright lights, big movies, and glamorous celebrities. But did you know that Hollywood is not the birthplace of the movies? The movie industry was essentially started at Edison's lab, and his goal was to offer an experience that does for the eye what the phonograph does for the ear. Edison's lab. So Edison created the first motion picture camera. The technology was similar to our modern movie cameras. He also built the first movie studio and called it the Black Maria, because it resembled a police patrol wagon with the same nickname. Movie lights did not exist yet, so they opened the roof and used the sunlight. As the sun moved, the studio followed it on a revolving track. Present day. Today we can watch our favorite movies on a big screen, at home, or even on our phones. Edison's lab. The first movies were shown kinetoscope, which did not project images onto a screen. It was built for peephole viewing. One person watched at a time. How crazy is that? Edison's kinetophone was the first projector to show movies with a synchronized sound. The projector was connected to a phonograph. It wasn't perfect, but it was the first. When people watched movies for the first time, they were amazed to see even the simplest movements like a woman dancing, a man sneezing, a boat in the water, a man posing, and a rooster walking. Present day. It's very possible you may have walked on pavement created in Edison's factory. Edison's cement was used for all sorts of construction. like dams, buildings, roads, sidewalks, and the original Yankee Stadium. He even built a few cement houses. Oddly enough, his successful cement business was a result of a major failure. Edison's lab. Edison originally built a special factory to remove iron ore from rocks, then use the ore to make iron for steel production. He and his team designed remarkable machinery for the project. Large crushing rollers, rocks containing iron ore, are crushed into a mixture of tiny iron ore pieces and rock waste. As the mixture drops into a container below, a magnet separates the iron ore pieces from the rock waste. The magnetic ore separator. Iron and rock waste, iron ore, magnet. The iron ore project failed, but instead of being discouraged, the team changed their plans and used the rock waste, sand, to manufacture cement. Success. It was necessary to roast the large supply of cement mixture, so Edison designed a roasting kiln that was 150 feet long, more than twice the size of average kilns. Present day. When you chat with your friend on a computer, you send electric messages across wires and radio waves, just like the old telegraph machines did. Edison began working as a telegraph operator in his teens. Edison's lab. He eventually improved telegraph technology with machines that could not only send messages faster, but could also send several different messages on the same wire and in opposite directions. Present day. Today, we use radio waves to transmit all types of signals, including those from mobile phones, radar, television, and radio. Edison's lab. Thomas Edison was among the first to discover radio waves in the air, although at the time he couldn't fully explain his discovery. Present day. Our quality of life has certainly been improved by the extraordinary work of Thomas Edison and his colleagues at the labs. Think about this. Bedtime stories would be very different today if it were not for Edison's most popular and important invention. You know what it is? The light bulb. Edison's lab. After thousands of experiments, Thomas Edison produced a light bulb that was perfect for homes and offices. It was sturdy, safe, and bright. It also burned a long time. This breakthrough ultimately changed the way we live, and it was also excellent for shadow puppets. Present day. Edison's bulb worked as part of an elaborate light and power system large enough to power an entire city. He once told a newspaper that he would be the first person to light up a portion of New York City. It took 4 years of hard work, but he kept his word. Edison's lab. Edison built the first large electric generator and power system on Pearl Street in Manhattan. Manhattan is in New York. The key feature was its ability to send electricity to many different locations at once. It became the model for the future. Present day. So every time you turn on a light, think of Thomas Edison and remember everything he gave us. One of the greatest tributes to his work came on the day of his funeral in 1931. President Herbert Hoover asked the entire country to honor Edison by turning off the lights for a minute of darkness. People everywhere honored